Hello friends, today we are going to continue chapter number 16, Economic Liberalization and Globalization, lecture number 2. Friends, we have started this chapter by understanding how our economy was totally ruined after we got our independence. At the time we got our independence, we were economically ruined. That was due to the Britishers, which came here as a traders and established their rule over here. They earned lot of wealth from India. They became prosperous on the sake of Indian industries. We have learned in our history part that when we got independence, we were not economically stable. So it was necessary for us to increase our economy as soon as possible. And it was for that sake we had to start planning about increasing our economy. We also discussed in our previous chapter that if any country wants to develop, economic development is very much necessary in any country. And for the purpose of that, economic growth is the initial step that should be achieved by any country. If economic growth is not achieved, then obviously economic development is not possible. Friends, here when we are talking about economic growth and economic development, before in the previous lecture we discussed that government always plans to make a speedy and very quickly economic development in our country. We discussed in our previous part in the economic reforms of 1991 that we learned in our first chapter, that when India got independence in the year 1947, India was economically ruined, and due to that reason it was necessary for our government to take very speedy decisions related to increasing the economy of our country. They had to plan something, and for that reason they initiated in the initial period, they implemented the 5-year plans to make speedy economic progress. But after implementing these 5-year plans to get success in the different fields of Indian economy, the main aim of our economic development was not achieved. And as our main goal was not achieved, the main target of our economic development was not achieved, now it became necessary for our government to make thorough investigation and to find out that where, in which area they were lacking behind. After making thorough investigation related to the failures of these 5-year plans that was introduced in 1951, these 5-year plans were implemented in 1951. But after the failures, after doing thorough investigations that why India is not achieving the target of economic development, government initiated to make some changes in its industrial policy, and due to that reason they made 3 major changes in its industrial policy. They introduced privatization, liberalization and globalization. And these reforms that they brought in economy of India, they were known as economic reforms of 1991. That was liberalization, privatization and globalization. So friends, today the topic that we are going to cover, that is about economic liberalization. Let us learn about economic liberalization. Today we will cover the topic of economic liberalization. Friends, as we discussed in our previous part, that economic liberalization is very much introduced for increasing the economic development of our country. First of all, let us understand the meaning of economic liberalization. Let us understand the meaning of economic liberalization. Here it is said, the gradual reductions of restrictions. Friends, economic liberalization, the gradual reductions that was in restrictions, means the restrictions that the government had already put, that in that gradual reduction was to be made, and also the controls imposed in private sectors, the gradual reductions of restrictions and controls imposed on private sector to encourage economic development is known as economic liberalization, or we can say simply liberalization, or we can say simply liberalization. Friends, here understanding the meaning, the gradual reductions of restrictions and the controls that government had already put on the private sector. Now the government started giving reductions in that, in the private sectors. They started giving reductions of some restrictions were made liberal. The controls that the government had put up to now on the private sectors, they started reducing that controls on the private sector. Why? To encourage economic development, and that is known as economic liberalization or simply liberalization. The word liberalization, liberal, itself suggests that government became liberal in its policy for the private sector to introduce to invest their money in the private sectors. So friends, here the government, which were very strict in its policy before these reforms, now government started to become little bit liberal. They started giving some of the reductions in the restrictions, and they started reducing some of the controls on the private sector to encourage this economic development, and that is known as economic liberalization, or we can say liberalization, right? Simply liberalization. So you might have understood about the liberalization. Here we can say, if we talk about liberalization, following reforms were made under Liberalization. Following reforms were made under liberalization. When government introduced this liberalization, what reductions of restriction and control were given? What reforms were made? What changes were made in liberalization are as follows. The process of these, when we talk about liberalization, here it is said of the process of obtaining license. The process of obtaining license for setting up new industry. The process of obtaining license for setting up new industry was removed except the process of obtaining license for setting up new industry was removed except for 18 industries. There were only 18 such industries that required to take license before setting up new industries. So now there were, for establishing, for setting up new industries, the process of obtaining license was removed by the government. Only 18 industries required the license for setting up their industry, except that this rule was removed. Except railway. If we talk about this, then railway, atomic energy and defense. Except railway, atomic energy and defense. Private sector were allowed here. Private sector were allowed to enter. Private sectors were allowed to enter. Now, except railway, atomic and defense, private sectors were allowed to enter. All these sectors, all the other sectors, they were allowed. Means the private sectors can invest their money in all the sectors except railway, atomic energy and defense. They can invest their money. The system of, now another rule, that was the system of compulsory registration for industries was cancelled. Another change that was brought under this liberalization was the system of compulsory registration for industries. Means the industries had to compulsory register their industry, now was cancelled. So the system of compulsory registration for industry was cancelled. Provisions of taking government permission. Provisions means rules to take government permission for setting up industries for setting up industries which do not cause pollution. Here even the industries which do not cause pollution and are not hazardous, which do not cause pollution and are not hazardous for environment was cancelled. Here he said even the provision of taking government permission for setting up industries that do not cause pollution and that are not hazardous for environment, that are not harmful for environment, was also cancelled. So these were the reforms that were made under this liberalization. The process of obtaining license for setting up new industry was removed, except 18 industries. Then except railway, atomic and defense, the private sector was allowed to enter into the other sectors. The system of compulsory registration for industries was also cancelled. Provisions of taking government permission for setting up industries that do not cause pollutions and are not hazardous for environment was also cancelled. Friends, let us understand the advantages of liberalization now. Understanding the advantages of liberalization. Many areas were open for private sectors. Many areas were open for private sector. So these sectors got opportunity to grow. Many areas were open for private sector, so this sector got opportunity to grow and develop. At great height, we can say. Many areas were open for private sectors, so these sectors got opportunity to grow and develop at great height. So they were able to grow. This increased the production in the country. This increased the production in the country. So first advantage, the production was increased as the private sector got the opportunity to enter in it and they started developing themselves. Global trade got boosted. Now even the global trade got boosted. Also there has been continuous increase in global trade. Also there has been continuous increase in global trade since liberalization, we can say. Since liberalization, we can see continuous growth in the global trade. Global trade got boosted due to this overall this liberalization. Due to this liberalization, our global trade increased, and due to this global trade, continuous increase was seen in this global trade. With rise in global trade, if we talk about the rise in global trade, India started exporting. India started exporting several commodities. India started exporting several commodities. That too on a very large scale. So friends, what happened due to this global trade? What was the positive impact of this global trade? It is said, as our global trade increased, we started our exporting to other countries. Whatever production that we made, more than our requirement, we started exporting that to other countries. And due to this global trade, we started exporting several commodities. That too on a very large scale. We started exporting several commodities on a very large scale. We started exporting that. These increased our foreign currency. This increased our foreign currency, or we can say foreign exchange. This increased our foreign exchange or foreign currency. We can say internal infrastructural facilities also increased. Friends, here you can clearly see several commodities. As global trade increased, then several commodities we started very large scale. We started exporting it. This increased our foreign currency. As we started exporting to other countries, we started earning foreign currency. We started increasing our foreign exchange, and also as the private sector were introduced over here. Now the internal infrastructure facility of our country were also increased, as the export import was boosted by this liberalization. Even the internal in our country itself, the infrastructure facilities also increased, as the private sector had entered into the market, due to which the internal infrastructure facility was also increased. So friends, these were the advantages of liberalization. Now let us understand the disadvantages of liberalization. Friends, let us understand now about the disadvantages of liberalization. Disadvantages of liberalization. If we are talking about the disadvantages, here it is said, although government reduced certain restrictions, it could not stop monopoly of some. Here it is said, although government reduced certain restrictions, they were not able to stop the monopoly of some. Here we can say industries. Some, that is industries. They were not able to stop the monopoly of some industries. So this was the disadvantage, that the evil of monopoly was clearly seen after the private sector entered. During economic reforms, India paid more attention. During economic reforms, India paid more attention to industrial sectors only. Here it is said that during economic reforms, India paid more attention to industrial sector only. As a result, India remained backward in agriculture. As during economic reforms, India paid more attention only to the industrial sectors, due to which India remained backward in the agriculture. And as we all know that India is an agrarian country. This is the primary occupation of our country. But still, the government was concentrating on industrial sectors, and that is why they gave less attention to agriculture. And that is why our main occupation, the primary occupation agriculture, that remained backward. Disparity of income increased. Now we were able to see the disparity of income, upper class, lower class. So clearly disparity of income was increased. That is if we see the rise in income was not, if we talk about income, the rise of income was not available proportionally. The rise of income was not available proportionally to all sections of the society. Disparity of income increase, that is the rise in income was not available proportionally to all sectors, and all sectors in the society did not get the benefit of the increment in our income, and that is why here we say disparity of income was clearly seen. The benefit of the increase in the income was not given to each and every sector. Then our imports exceeded exports. Our import exceeded exports. These increased the foreign debt. This increased the foreign debt. Friends, here it is said our import exceeded export. We imported more than we exported, and due to that reason they had to pay more than they earn, and that is why due to that reason the foreign debt of our country started increasing. And friends, due to this reason our foreign debt started increasing, and that is why import and exports balance was not maintained. So friends, this was the disadvantage of liberalization. So you might have understood about the liberalization. We learn about privatization and globalization in our future lectures. Thank you.